In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the front window regulators on this BMW 550i. These are going to be located behind the front door panels. Let's get into it. You want to make sure the window is about 8 inches up, so just take a tape measure, just get that right about that location. In the trunk, we're just going to pull this spare tire cover up. We can access the battery under here. There's a push pin right here. This one just twists out. There may be another one on the side here. This vehicle doesn't have it. You just want to pop those out with a trim tool. And just grab this cover and it just twists out. Now we're going to disconnect the battery. Use a 10mm wrench. Loosen up the negative terminal. Take that off, slide that out of the way. With a trim tool, pop this airbag emblem off. Just a plastic trim tool, be careful, you don't want to rip anything. Just pops out, just like that. I'm just going to pop this little cap off. The same, just use a trim tool. There we go. Pop that cap off. There's a screw in there. I'm going to use a Phillips head screwdriver, take this screw out. There's a screw in here, use a T30 socket. Take that screw out. Underneath here, there's a footwell light. We need to remove that. Just use a trim tool. Get underneath that. And we'll disconnect that. You want to grab right here. It's a good idea to wear some gloves. There could be some sharp edges. And then we're just gonna pull real hard. There we go. Pop that out. It's clipped in on the bottom. Use a trim tool, go around, popping this out. There is a clip right here. I'm just taking a pick and going in from behind, and I'm just going to pop that clip out. Oops. So where that is pushed in, you want to try to lift up on that. If you push in a little bit and lift up to release it, I'll show it to you a little better once we get the panel off. And then it's clipped in on the top. There we go. Just pop that out. Take the lock rod off. Disconnect the inner door handle cable. There's a little tab under there. Just lift up on that, and that comes right off. And there's a wiring harness right here. Just push down on the 2 tabs. That comes off. And we're going to use a trim tool. Just pop this wire out. I'll disconnect the speaker wires. I'm just going to use a pick. There we go. It's just clipped in. You just need to pop this out a little bit. There we go. Pull that out. Disconnect the airbag. Just grab the connector, push on the tab, and it slides off. There's a little tab right there. It slides out just a slight bit, and that releases it. To disconnect this light right here, just grab the light, just slide it off. Right here, there's a clip. We're just gonna pop this off with a pick. that off. There's another little bulb. Pop that out. Underneath where the switch is, pull that connector off. And this is another light, fiber optic light. Just grab the light, just slide it off. You can see where the clip is that holds this on. So the panel just kind of slides up and this clip stays. This clip actually bent out, so it's almost impossible to just slide this off. So when you have the door in there, you just gotta kind of slide it up and pop it out. Just gonna take some needle nose and just bend this back. You can slide that off. Remove the vapor barrier. Just gonna use a utility knife and you can just cut the butyl tape. If it doesn't stick anymore, you can add more butyl tape after you're done. And take that off. Now using a E12 socket, we're gonna loosen up the bolts that hold the clamps for the window. Should be able to separate the glass from the clamps. Just pull that apart a little. It's separated. Just push the window up. We're going to twist it. And we're going to pull the window out and set it aside. There's a wiring harness that goes behind the window regulator. You just take this little tab, pull that out, and slide that clip up. Further down is a retainer. Just use a trim tool. Just get behind there, pop that off, and disconnect the electrical motor. Just push on the tab. Slide that back. There's a wire tie right here that goes around the regulator. We'll just cut that with some side cutters. Pull that off. There's a bolt right here. We're going to use an E12 socket. Loosen up that bolt. This bracket just goes around the motor. Just to get this bracket off, we're going to cut this wire tie. Just use some side cutters. Slide that bracket down. There's that. It's off. The bottom two bolts for the regulator, we're going to use a 10mm socket. Just going to loosen these a few turns. There is a slot, so we don't have to take this out completely. This one I'm just going to use a 10mm ratchet wrench. It's a little tighter on this side. And through the hole here, I'm going to use a 10mm socket. Take this bolt out. You can actually use an E12 socket, but a 10mm socket worked just fine. I'll do the same right here. Take that bolt out. Grab the regulator. I'm just going to slide it up. And it comes right out. We're going to take these screws out. Use a T30 socket. Now we'll slide the motor off the regulator. Just push down in the center there and lift it off. Now take the new regulator. We want these clamps, the window clamps, in the same location or pretty close. So if you just grab the two clamps and just slide them down, and the motor's going to go underneath just like it came out. Take the screws, get those started. Just snug these down. Now we're going to torque these to 52 inch-pounds. That's good. We remove these bolts at the base. Use the 10mm socket. Transfer those over to the new one. And don't tighten those all the way because there is a slot. That's good. Now we can install this in the car. Take the regulator, position this the same way it came out. The bottom bolts in, those in those slots. Top, you want to make sure the top's behind the bracket though. Make sure the bolts are in down below and up top. Get those brackets lined up. Take the screws for up top. Get those started. Tighten these down. Tighten the lower bolts down. Torque these bolts to 70 inch-pounds. It's a little tricky to get to these ones. Do the best you can. Reattach the wires into the retainers. We have this holder that's going to go around the motor. Slide this in position. And the wire is going to go underneath it. That's going to go snug that down. Plug that in. That's good. Just take some wire ties. Just secure these down. There's another one over here. Do the same. And trim the excess. Just use some side cutters. That's good. And take the window. Carefully slide it in position. All right, there we go. Clamps lined up. Looks good, that looks good. It's in the tracks, it's all the way down. Tighten these bolts up. That's good. And we'll torque these to 70 inch-pounds. We're just gonna adjust this clip a little. One of the tabs bent, so I'm just gonna take I'm just using a trim tool, but you could use a straight blade screwdriver. Just bend one of the tabs up. And the other tab's gonna get bent down. This clip is what we took off of here, so that's gonna go on the door. So when you pulled the door up, it slid off this clip. So when we put the door panel back on, we're gonna slide this in, and then it'll just slide in place and clip on. I'll take the vapor barrier, slide that over the clip, go around the wires. If you need more butyl tape, just add it now. Otherwise, normally it sticks pretty good. Just make sure it's all lined up. This clip is going to go on the door like that. And we can take the wiring harness, get all that started. This connector is going to go into the switch underneath here. Plug that in. This other light is going to go in here. And this one goes this way. Clip that in place. Connect the airbag connector. Try to get it started first and then push that lock in place. Take the fiber optic light, line it up, lock it in place, and take the light, line that up, and lock it down. This wire is going to go down to where the puddle light is, underneath there. Feed that through there. And the two connectors for the speaker. Hook those up. These are all going to get pushed in here. This connector is going to go over here. Take the cable for the handle. Get that in place, lock it down. Take the lock rod, it's going to go through. Get everything lined up. Make sure that wire's coming through down below. Oh. Push it down. I'll connect the wire for the light. Slide that in place. Lock it down. I'll put these screws in. Snug that down. Take the cover, line it up, push it on, and put this screw back in. Take the little cap, line it up, push it on. And take the negative terminal, attach it to the battery. Now we'll tighten this down. And that's snug. Give it a wiggle, make sure it's tight. Take this cover. Position it in place. Take the push pin, slide that in place. If you had another one there, you want to push that in. And take this cover and let it down. Now we're going to initialize the window. You want to turn the key in the on position, and we're going to push the window all the way to the down position. And we're going to go up, and you're going to hold the button up while you go up. Once it gets to the top, we're going to hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. All right, that's 5 seconds. Then we're going to go down, hold the switch down, all the way down, and hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. Let go, and then it should be initialized. The automatic function should work fine, and it does.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.